It was a really great effort by our guys. Third game in 4 nights, playing a team that's waiting on us. The energy was great in the first half. The second half fatigue set in a little bit, but it was just it was a situation where the collective will of the group carried us through somehow. A lot of guys made big plays. McConnell had a big steal. Duarte hit 1 or 2 big shots. Malcolm, was putting pressure on the rim. Sabonis had big rebounds. Justin Holiday was tremendous. And, somehow after getting his ankle kicked in midair last night when he was going for a rebound, he felt a lot better today, which was great news for us. So it's a tough league. Thin margins, going to be a lot of close games. All this is going to make us tougher.
You mentioned some of the big plays down the stretch, but especially considering you had an overtime game last night, what stood out to you about how your team was able to overcome that and execute down the stretch?
Yeah, it really came down to just a hell of a lot better defense tonight than we played in the first 2 games. Lloyd Pierce did a great job at our walkthrough this afternoon of sending the message that, we needed to be more physical. We needed to have a stronger disposition. We need to have a stronger attitude about defense. And, holding these guys to 91 points, even without Lowry is a really good accomplishment for where we have been the last 2 nights, giving up an average of 130 or whatever it is. So, we showed what we can do defensively. We need a day off tomorrow. Then we got world champions coming in here Monday. So, this is a very challenging beginning part of the schedule. The home crowd was great. The dynamics this year are different than they were last year, with home crowds. Makes it tougher on the road, and your home crowd has the ability to give you a nice lift at home. And so, we're going to have to – it's on us to play hard and play well and keep our fans into it.
You mentioned expanding the rotation after the game in Charlotte, and you've gone with Oshae Brissett 2 games in a row now. He was excellent in this game. What have you seen and liked from him in the minutes he's given you in these last 2 games, and will you continue to look for him going forward?
Yeah, he's a good player, and, not playing him in Charlotte certainly it was a mistake. It was just a situation where the game kind of got going a certain way, and it just didn't happen. He was solid in his 7.5 or 8 minutes against Washington last night. Tonight we needed something special off the bench. And gave us shot-making, rebounding, defense, and he was active. He was around the ball. And nights like this, 3rd and 4 nights, the other team waiting on you, you need some guys to step up. And he was tremendous.
As you continue to try to make the point on the significance and the importance of getting your defense to improve, how impactful can it be to have a game like tonight where your defense really carries you for large stretches in the second half?
Well, we told on ourselves. We show what we're capable of doing, and so we've got to take the challenge to duplicate it. And Monday will be a great challenge. So that's kind of where we are with it. Tonight was the kind of game that, we envisioned for this team on a regular basis with sticky physical defense and playing with real attitude. The first 2 games, we just traded shots. That's really what we did. And we left it to the whims of the basketball gods and shot making. And when you do that, you can get bitten pretty badly.
Just the way that the foul trouble and Oshae was playing so well, that's kind of cut Miles off the bench. It was kind of a awkward situation all around for him.
What's awkward about it?
Well, he just
guy gets a foul trouble, you take him out of the game. nothing awkward about that.
Did you, going into the game, you certainly would have thought he played just 3 second-half minutes.
Yeah. Well, sometimes sometimes odd things happen in the NBA, It's the kind of league where you can go for 40 one night and play 3 minutes in the second half the next. And we just got to keep the bus moving. and everybody's got to get rest tomorrow. We got to come in fresh on Monday. I'll tell you this about Miles Turner. The number one thing he cares about is winning games. He is, in this day and age in the NBA, he's the ultimate franchise loyalist, for a 7-year player. Now, Udonis Haslem, that's a little bit different deal, what they got going down there. And that's impressive. But, for us, Miles Turner is that guy. He's a leader. He's coachable. He does the dirty work at the defensive end. He's Mr. Intangible in so many ways, and he just got unlucky on a few plays tonight. One of those plays, I thought he was standing still, but he just hit the shit out of that one guy, and the guy went flying. They blew the whistle, and they called it on him. And at that point of the game, it's not one to challenge. Because it's just change of possession. There's no free throws involved, and I think we're leading at the time. So, but the dynamics of the NBA game, are changing constantly. Now the officials can't trigger replays for out of bounds in the last 2 minutes. There's a lot more going on. I mean, they were going to give the guy 3 free throws. We challenged. They said it was unsuccessful, and they took it out of bounds, and he didn't get 3 free throws. It looked pretty successful to me, And I'm not a stat monger or anything like that, but I didn't quite understand that whole thing. But it's such a game of inches, I mean, we're up 10 or 11, and they run a play. Robinson gets wide open, knocks a 3 in, and then. Then they're trapping us and making life miserable for us at the other end, and you just got to keep playing. And but I'm not the least bit concerned about Miles Turner. This guy brings an enthusiasm for the franchise, a loyalty to his teammates, every day that is really cool to be a part of.
Coach, you spoke about Oshae Brissett, but how valuable was Jeremy Lamb's minutes today? To have someone with his shot-making ability coming off the bench, especially, again, when your schedule is so jam-packed the way it is, just how valuable were
Yeah, that's a great question. Really, Lamb was a guy that gave us a huge lift in the game. I mean, when you can play from in front for pretty much the entire first half against a team like Miami, that's big, and his 3 or 4 threes that he hit in the first half were instrumental to that. And so, that gave us a big lift. And then look, we needed it from everybody tonight. I mean, really, everybody played an important role, and all the guys on the bench were ready to go. Isaiah Jackson's free throw, his rim attack at the end of the first half. It's a big play. Makes 1 free throw, makes it a 10-point game instead of a 9-point game. So, and by the way, he was presented with the game ball for his first NBA points after the game, and we gave Chris his after his first basket against Charlotte. So,
Malcolm, after the way the first 2 games had gone, to find yourself in a similar position tonight but be able to close it out, how significant was that for this group who I know had been struggling a little bit mentally with the way those first 2 games ended?
Huge. I thought we did a lot of good things in those first 2 games. But I think in both games we had third quarter letdowns, and then we weren't able to finish the games. Tonight I thought we played 4 good quarters. I thought defensively all night long we were together. We were the stronger defensive team, and then we were able to finish the game. We weren't making threes, we weren't making shots, but we held it down. Our defense didn't change. Like, nothing impacted our defense tonight, and I think that's the key. That's what we have to be every night.
It's going to be hard to play defense at that level every single night, but when you're searching for improvement on that end, how significant is it to have a game like this to go back and have as a foundation going forward?
Man, it's incredibly important for our confidence, but also, to do that, to hold a team to 91 points and then to hold the Heat to 91 points. That's a very good team, very well coached. Some of the best shooters in the NBA, some of the best players. So they're a strong team, and they're going to try to compete for a championship this year. And we handled them in our arena. So we can do that against them. We can do that against anybody.
A lot of the questions about Chris Duarte this year have been focused on his offense or his off-court stuff. Today, his defense, especially on Jimmy Butler, was pretty good. What did you see from him on that end of the floor, and how much has he stepped up for you guys defensively so far this year?
He's been huge. I think the beauty of Chris is not that he shoots the ball. It's not that the scoring and the clutch shots he makes. It's his poise and maturity, and that translates to the way he plays both ends of the ball, the decisions he makes, and being able to have a rookie in at the end of the game against a Miami Heat or against a Milwaukee Bucks team. Those are elite teams, and to be able to have a rookie in and be able to trust him to take and make good shots and to defend to the end of the shot clock, it takes a pretty good rookie to have him in there.
Coach Carlisle said after playing your third game in 4 days that you guys needed something special off the bench tonight. Just how key were Jeremy Lamb and Oshae Brissett's minutes tonight?
Huge. We wouldn't have won that game without Jeremy and Oshae. Stepping in, Jeremy gave us the boost in the first half, Oshae the boost in the second half. They were both huge for us. A lot of the time, or some of the time, the starters are not going to be able to have it completely going and be able to make shots. But as long as we defend and that second team comes in and gives us some energy and a spark off the bench offensively, we're going to be fine.
Yeah, I know you and Chris didn't have your best shooting nights, but thematically, was this kind of more of the game that the Pacers expected to play this season than those first two gun-out games that were so high-scoring?
Yeah, this is actually more Pacer basketball. Not all the missed shots, but the defense and sort of the grinded-out basketball. We want to play old-school Pacers basketball. I mean, that's what this state expects. That's what these fans expect, and that's what Carlisle expects of us now. We got to be together on both ends of the ball and grind it out, and that's how we're going to beat the really good teams.
Speaking of these fans, how nice was it to have them back, and what kind of role did they play?
It was amazing. It was amazing. Our fans were amazing tonight. They were loud. They were excited to be back in the arena. We were super excited to have them back. This has been the conversation for the past couple of weeks, is when we're getting our fans back, how much fun we're going to have, how different it's going to be. And they gave us so much energy from start to finish tonight. Overtime was great because they were in it. They were standing up the whole time. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
After kind of settling in that third quarter, it felt like I think you guys missed all 3-pointers. You guys deliberately attack, being more of attack mode, get to the foul line so well like you did in OT.
Absolutely. That's when you're not making shots, what are you going to do? You can't stop shooting. You can't stop attacking. You got to attack more. You got to get downhill and create a problem. And one of the things I always tell Chris is when your shot isn't falling, get downhill, and that doesn't mean score, but try to find people. Just be aggressive. Try to touch the paint because good things happen for us. And that's what we were able to do in the fourth. That's what we were able to do in the overtime. That was really my sort of objective going into overtime. I was telling myself, I got to get in the paint, I got to touch it, whether it's get to the rim, get fouled, finish, or Domas is going to be open or my shooters are going to be open, and that really opened it up for us in offense.
Michael, I'm wondering what the message or focus was from the coaching staff on the defensive end heading into this game and having such good result.
We got Lloyd Pierce as our I think he's our head assistant, but he's our defensive coach, and I think he's the best defensive coach in the league. He's really tremendous on how he has us playing defense, our calls, when we're in a zone, when we're in man, who we're showing on, who we're off, who we're letting shoot those mid-range shots. And I thought today as a team we executed. The past couple games we've had good quarters, we've had bad quarters. Tonight we executed his defense to a T.
Great, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
You've already had some big moments in your brief NBA career, but maybe your first signature moment in front of the home fans was that pull-up three that you hit. Can you take us through that moment and what it was like, not only then, but then to be able to pull away and come away victorious?
Before that, I want to thank the fans, man. What a great fans we have, Tonight was fantastic, the fans were really good. Going back to that question, I saw the shot clock going down, and I had a good matchup, and then, switch it up and felt good about it. I let it fly and it went in.
It's pretty clear that you have the green lights from your coach and your teammates, and that's pretty atypical for a rookie. What does it mean to you to be able to play your game the way you want to and not have to defer maybe as much as a typical rookie would?
I mean, it's good. I mean, I feel like I earned that, working hard on and off the court, listening to my teammates, my coaches. So it feels great. That's something that anybody would love to do that, just go out there and be able to do that. But I'm just going out there and be Chris Duarte, just play my game. That's what I do, just go out there and play your game.
Malcolm was just telling us how he was talking to you at one point about, if your shot's not falling, try to get into the lane and make plays. What does it mean to you to get advice like that from your older teammates, and how much has that helped you so far in your short NBA career?
It means a lot. I'm always talking to Malcolm and everybody in my team, especially Malcolm. I asked him earlier, about the game last night. I missed a couple shots, and I told him, like, what do you do when you're missing shots like that? Like, what's your mentality? What's going through your mind? And he told me, hey, you got it. When your shot's not falling, get to the line, get to the paint, make a play for your teammates, get a steal, play defense. And that's how you get going in a game. And then you go back to your jump shot and just keep playing. So, I really appreciate my teammates, especially Malcolm, who's always talking to me. That goes a long way. He's been in the league for a couple years. He's a vet, a good leader. So it's good to learn from those guys.
Chris, what has it been like for you going from college where you're playing twice a week maybe? You just played 3 games in 4 days, 3 different cities. What has that experience been like?
I like it. I like it. I like playing basketball. So just being able to play back-to-back game, it's kind of tough, for a guy that never been there before. So, but I like it. I'm having fun.
As a shooter, is it a challenge for you to have to get used to all the new sight lines, all these venues that you really haven't played in? Is that something you've had to do maybe during shoot-arounds or anything?
What?
Learn the new sight lines at all the different venues, like where the crowd is, where the basket is, what it looks like to shoot in each arena. Does that make sense?
No, that don't make sense to me. I'm sorry.
We're going to take a couple of Spanish questions on Zoom.
Here we go.
Leonardo, go ahead. Leonardo, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Chris, ¿qué tal? Buenas tardes. Te saluda Leonardo Torres de Perú. Felicidades por la victoria. Chris, ¿qué opiniones de tu primer triunfo en la NBA y qué opinas sobre tu impacto en el juego? ¿Qué crees que estás impactando en Indiana?
Bueno, mi primera victoria en la NBA se siente bien. A mí me gusta ganar. Un sentimiento diferente. Se nota la energía en el locker room cuando uno vuelve para atrás y se juntan todos. Todo el mundo feliz, todo el mundo contento, con una sonrisa en la cara. Simplemente estoy jugando mi juego allá afuera, Leonardo. Como le he dicho anteriormente, gracias a Dios, gracias a mi equipo y a mis compañeros, a los coaches que me dan la oportunidad de hacer lo que hago.
Alan, go ahead.
Hola Chris, es Alan Silva de Costa Rica para PZ Basket. Bueno, ¿cómo sientes que te has adaptado al equipo y en qué aspectos aún no te has adaptado también? ¿Y por qué sientes que mejoraste en defensa en este juego?
Bueno, cosas que tengo que seguir adaptándome es la rapidez del juego. Cuando tiro, estoy tirando fuera de balance un poquito. No sé si lo ha notado en los juegos que ha visto. Pero esas son cosas que poco a poco vendrán. Pero me estoy sintiendo bien. Me gusta eso, que me estoy sintiendo bien. Jugando, cada día que pasa me estoy sintiendo bien jugando con mis compañeros. Y nada.
Oshae, after not playing in the opener and then playing 8 minutes last night, what was it like tonight to be a focal point of what Rick Carlisle was doing and to have a lot of that success that you were able to have last season?
It felt great. It felt great, man. Being out there with the guys and being back home, I think a big spark was definitely, having all the fans in there. From the jump, I felt it from warm-ups, from when we walked out. I felt a different energy and a different vibe from the guys. And, just going back to the team from, this morning to shoot around right before the game, I think guys were really locked in because, we knew we're right there with those first 2 games. And, just with myself, I felt like I knew exactly what I could bring to the table and what needed to be done. And that was just the energy side, attacking the basket, just being myself. So, it felt great being out there.
Oshae, Coach Carlisle said it was a mistake not playing you in the opener against Charlotte. But how did you feel after not playing it? And how do you stay mentally prepared knowing that your minutes might fluctuate from time to time and that you still have to come in and do your job?
Me and Coach had a lot of great conversations before the season started, whether it was right when he got a job or when he called me during the summer or even during training camp. I went to his office and we talked a lot. And, he kind of told me how the year was going to go for me and what he kind of saw out of me. And that really helped keep my confidence up and kind of see where I'm going to be at in the rotation with the team. My confidence never goes down. I feel like I did a great job of working on myself and my game. So I just know whenever I get out there, I got to do what I got to do.
And did you guys talk after the Charlotte game about what your role was going to be, or with these off-season kind of conversations?
Nah, we didn't talk, but, just thinking about what he told me before, how some games, you might not play, some games are going to be this. I know it's just the first game. We have a whole bunch coming up, so I didn't really look into it too much. But I just know when I get out there, I gotta be myself and do what I gotta do.
I saw you were particularly active in hyping up the crowd often this game. What did it mean to you to have fans back and be able to do that in front of
Crazy. I like doing that stuff. You guys know it's just the way that I am. But having those guys there, it's like an extra, little push for us. Stuff that we need. We're able to feed off of that. And me myself, most definitely, I like having a packed crowd and those guys are on our side and they're cheering for us the whole game. Really gives us that extra confidence to get over any type of lag that we have. And I feel like they are definitely our 6th man out there helping us. When times got tough, for sure.
Seems like your handle's a little tighter this year. You're driving and dribbling in transition more than last year. Was that a point of emphasis for you this offseason, or is that something that just Carlisle's trusted you more to do, so you're able to do it?
A little bit of both. He wants me to be aggressive, and that's kind of the conversation that we had. But still, I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna play to my strengths until my role increases. And I know that's gonna take time, but I'm happy with who I am right now. And every game I'm just gonna go out there and just try to get the win.
Players and coaches have talked, throughout all of October that, defense was going to be a theme, and it wasn't manifested so much in the first 2 games, but really was tonight. Anything you can put your finger on for the it's not like you hit a switch or something, but it almost looked that way.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it was really that talk we had right before the game. We know that we're right there. Offensively, we're good. We move the ball. We love playing with each other. It really just comes down to defense, and if we lock in on that and be physical, and get into them and try to just concentrate the whole time, I feel like that's really what it is. We're good defensively. We have good runs. The Charlotte game, we were blowing them out first 3 quarters, and then we kind of relaxed. But we carry that throughout the whole game. We're a different team, and I feel like that's what we really were understanding going into this game.
You did a lot of proving yourself last year. How much, as you go into this season, is your mindset to show that 20 games or so is for real, that it can be extended throughout the course of a season? And was tonight the first step in that direction?
Yeah, for sure. I know this league and this business is really about consistency. And I'm just gonna try to be myself. I'm gonna go out there and do exactly what I know I could do, and just be aggressive when I can be aggressive. I feel like the way that I've been playing, my whole life is to my strengths. I don't ever go out there and do anything that, is gonna get anyone like, oh my God, what is he doing? Until I get that freedom and that trust from my teammates, then I'm gonna be do those things. But I just got to keep pushing, got to keep being myself, and with the games that come, I'm gonna try to improve every time.